Mr. Godsmark, thank you for joining us today. We're talking about driverless cars or autonomous vehicles. This is something that you've been studying for a few years now. Can you tell us what you've found about this topic?
Definitely. The key thing about autonomous vehicles is that the technology is coming much quicker than I think any of us are expecting. The automakers are talking about a time frame anywhere between 2020 and 2025 to have vehicles that are highly automated and even driving themselves. Whereas Google are saying that their technology will be in public hands sometime between 2017 and 2020. So clearly in that time frame, that's something that cities in particular should be planning for.
What kind of impacts or what kind of transformation is this going to be?
Well, the best way I can describe it is imagine what it must have been like when the modern automobile replaced the horse and the carriage. We are going to see a similar scale of impacts on society and how and where we live and work with autonomous vehicles. And that's simply because the vehicle can now drive itself. It can therefore do work for us by moving people and goods from place to place. And that is, as I say, is going to change how and where we live and work.
Now, here in Metro Vancouver, our regional planners are looking at a 10-year transit and infrastructure plan. Do you think it would be wise for them to be at least considering or looking at this driverless vehicle technology in their planning?
Yeah, absolutely. The technology may not be on the roads of Vancouver until, say, 2023, but the plan that is being looked at, the transportation plan, includes infrastructure spending, possibly billions on infrastructure for projects which are intended to be good for the next 30 or 40 years. But in that period, it's certain that autonomous vehicles will be on the road and they could be undermining the operational and business model for that transit infrastructure. So it's definitely worthy of some due diligence. Do a review on autonomous vehicle impacts and see how robust the current plans are.
So if there were any members of government or decision makers or bureaucrats or planners who were tempted to dismiss autonomous vehicles, write them off as science fiction or a fantasy at this point, do you think that would be a mistake?
Yeah, definitely. There's enough information in the public realm to make it very clear that it's now not a case of if this technology is coming, it's when. And I've been in meetings down in California, and it's clear that some cities around the world, such as LA, Helsinki, Singapore, are very serious about autonomous vehicles and are already making some outline concept plans for how they might be incorporated.
Why is this important? Why bring in autonomous vehicles?
Well, the study that we put together, CAVCO put together with the Conference Board of Canada and the Van Horn Institute, we found conservatively that Canada could save about $65 billion a year when this technology is fully deployed. And also, we could significantly reduce road fatalities. Currently, about 2,000 Canadians die every year on our roads, and we could reduce that figure by about 80%. So there's a whole host of benefits. We could have more time that we lose to driving, we could reclaim. And we believe that any region, any jurisdiction which has allowed this technology to flourish will improve its quality of life and will gain economic benefits and will attract businesses and investment to it. And therefore, those jurisdictions that don't have the technology, that refuse to adopt it, could easily find that they fall behind.
Mr. Godsmark, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for your time.